getting shafted on a Chevy truck today. Okay, here I go. I'm gonna work on my drive shaft center carrier bearing. These are gonna be my tools: cutoff wheel, gear puller, some gloves, some PB blaster for the bolts. And I went to Harbor Freight to get a gear puller, and I ended up walking out with a couple other things for some, you know, everyone needs ties, and microfibers are good, and the compression testers for another project down the road. So I got under here and I already hit the bolts with some PB blaster, the bottom, the top side, get them soaked, and the front U-joints. On this particular model, I don't think I have to, I hope I don't have to take out the back U-joint because it slips right here. So I'm hoping I'm gonna take out the carrier bearing, undo the front U-joints, and it should be enough slip to move it away from the shaft, the splines. I'm hoping. If anything, maybe it'll kind of fold a little bit and then come out and then slide out of the spline, I hope. Okay, I'm already into it, and I took the front U-joint mounts on the slip yoke off. They came off easy, and I think someone has been in this carrier bearing before. Those don't look like stock carrier bearing bolts, but anyways, I know this is the failed part, and like I said, the splines right there, it does slip, so I have my shaft supported by a stand. I think I'm gonna just be able to slide this out. I'll keep going. Okay, so I have the shaft out, slid right out. Now you can see my mark. I made another index mark on the other shaft because sometimes they're weighted and balanced. Well, they are, and they have to go a particular order on the spline, but then I'm seeing a double tooth spline right here, so I think we're okay there. I'm gonna work on the bearing. Right now I cut the rubber mount off, and that was the purpose of the cutoff wheel. And here's the bearing, and like I said, the bearing doesn't feel bad. I don't feel any play in this, but you need the rubber mount to take all the cushion and blow, take the vibration out. Okay, just ran into a problem. So looking at the bearing and how to take it off, and I went and got the largest gear puller that Harbor Freight has. I'm thinking of drilling holes to remount the bracket, but then upon further inspection, the bearing won't even go around the spline. And I went back, double checked it to see, you know, the inner diameter of it, and this is the inner diameter, okay, and then we can see that it needs to go over that lip, and we're not even, you know, that bearing's not going to work. That's what you get out of Amazon. So I'll probably head to Napa because I believe they're the only ones with a bearing, and I think my free $9 bearing from Amazon with points is going to be a fail, and I'm going to have to pony up 85 bucks. Double check your work like I don't. Okay, I'm back from the auto store. I had to go get a part. I'm all ready. I set up my my gear puller. Okay, had to re-drill a couple of holes and make an adjustment to the top of the gear puller to fit around the shaft itself. And I'm all good to go. I'm ready to go, ready to pull this bearing, but I'm not. This bearing, I feel, is still fine, and I don't want to cause more damage than I don't have to. The failed part in this is really the mount. It's all broken. When I took it off, when I cut it off, you could hear it to start to be brittle. And I get that. Those that are gonna say, well, do the bearing. Well, 85 bucks. Found the rubber mount for $7. I'm gonna go this route right now and get it in. Let's see how it goes. Now, when I was working on my gear puller, grinding it off, it was super hot, and I went to go touch. I accidentally touched it, and I burnt through my glove. These are my favorite gloves to work on, but it was so hot it burnt through the glove. So the best thing about destroying a pair of gloves is go selecting a new pair of gloves. But again, so anyways, I have a second pair, and I'm gonna keep working. So I'm about to put the shaft back in. Got the bearing cover and mount back on. Looks like it works good and spins nice. You know, again, the bearing is not what failed here, it was the mount. So I'm going with that. Okay, just a quick check, you know, on the U-joint. So I don't feel any play, and I cleaned the surface where the mounting brackets are gonna bolt it to, and they move good and free. No super resistance, you know, greased up just as they should be. I also put some grease on the splines before I put it back in there because I had cleaned it off, you know, so I could work on it. So here's some grease, and this grease is Stay Lube high temp bearing grease. So I got this can probably 30 years ago, and still have some in there, still going good. Well, I have the drive shaft back in the truck. It all went well. Everything is bolted in, torqued down, and now what do I do with the tools? So, you know, I'm curious, is Harbor Freight gonna take back my gear puller that I paid $12.99 for? I don't know. I'll hang on to it, and you know, shout out to India, making great parts made in India. Okay, and I also want to go ahead and thank my mom for double checking my work. This is one of her micrometers that she used while she worked at Mag Instruments making the flashlights, all the way back from 1988 to 2005 when she finally departed the company. Thanks for watching.